Really excited to be here, and they're really excited to share their work.
I am a Rosemary High School, and this is
Elijah.
Trisha.
Roberto.
I'm Levi.
Aaron. And unfortunately, Kira, who's on there, couldn't be here today. But, yeah.
So I'm starting out with the process of how we begun our project. And first we brainstormed community issues that affected everyone, like violence, pollution, poverty, and public health. So first we decided that we have a focus on gang violence, since where we met up was North Portland, and there is a lot of gang violence around that area. But since that was more of a statistical type of project, we decided to have a more hands-on approach and focus on soil pollution and the effects on plant diversity between Portland and Gresham, because half of our team is in the North Rosemary campus and half of our team is on the east side Rosemary campus. So yeah, we chose our locations that were most representative to Portland and Gresham, which was really close to me and my brother and Aaron, which also went to East, was Springwater Corridor in Gresham. And really close to the North Campus was Smith Bybee. And so, like the Beaverton did, like they tested the quality of their soil, we tested the quality within those plots for the pH, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium levels. So after that, we selected random plots to measure the biodiversity.
Our question is, how does the quality of soil affect plant diversity in Portland as compared to Gresham? We hypothesized that increased pollution in urban areas would hinder plant diversity. The soil samples from Portland will demonstrate increased levels of hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, yielding less plant diversity in Portland as compared to Gresham.
Pollution. We thought pH would be more acidic in the industrial areas. More factories, CO2 emission, and acid rain. Additional pollutants may change plants' diversity. Site observations. We did Smith and Bybee in Portland. We spotted oil spills, runoff, moist soil close to the Smith Bybee Lake, and there was a lot of deciduous trees, and it was pretty close to sea level terrain. Yeah. And then our spring water corridors in Gresham, there was a lot of wet conditions, close to a creek, and there was a lot more plant diversity. And it was like a little hill by the creek, it's a little valley. And we were working close to, there was a path and a lot of trash around there. So it was like a little, I don't know, a lot of people go down there and chill.
Okay, data analysis. What we did to start off our pH and nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium data is we use Lamont soil testing kits. Once we found the data for pH, nitrogen, phosphates, and potassium, we use that to create statistical analysis of the soil data. In return, we create a Simpson's diversity index to find out the diversity. We create a statistical index of the plant diversity to find out, or to graph it and find out the differences between the two. pH levels. We found out that the mean in Smith Bybee was about 5.8 and Springwater Corridor was at 5.9. It concluded that there was no significant difference in the pH levels between the two. The results for phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium were almost the same. Smith Bybee had slightly larger phosphorus levels and slightly larger potassium levels. Since we didn't have enough samples in the 2, we were not able to find significant results. And yeah, Smith Body was a 2.85 on the Simpson's diversity scale, and it was a 4.5 in spring water. Higher plant diversity at spring water corridor. Slightly.
So some of the limitations to this project were small sample size. So we only sampled 2 sites, which was Smith Bidewee and the Springwater corridor. So more samples were needed for the representation. So yeah, we had tested more diverse sites. So why does this project matter? Well, illness, of course. Like, if you're living in a place where there's pollutants in the water, you're not going to want to live there, and you could get ill. It also affects like animals living there, like what kind of animals and like how they live. If people want to live in a clean and healthy place, like who doesn't want to do that? Who does this project matter to or interest? Environmentalists, people that care obviously about the environment, which should be everybody, but residents of Portland and Gresham, people that live locally and want to live in a healthy place and want to see their home healthy. Those people who embrace science, which is all of us, and policymakers, people that are gonna look at this and say that we need to start changing things.
So yeah, what next? We're gonna be testing for results and how that correlates with plant diversity. So,
That's it.
Does anyone have any questions for us? Up back there?
What were your conclusive results?
Okay, our conclusive results were that there were no significant difference between the two in plant diversity. That's what we moving forward next, is to collect more samples to find out if there will be an actual significant difference. So right now, no, our conclusion is there's no significant difference yet. Well, yeah.
Between the two sites, was one more industrious than the other?
Yeah, Portland was closer to an industrialized place. I think it was next to a railroad tracks, and it was next to a growing construction area, and the other side was next to residential neighborhood and off of a trail.
So if those two were the same, what different factor would you put in next time for choosing a different site to see if it's similar?
I think we wouldn't have our plots so close together. I think one plot would be several yards away from another to get more of a difference in that area, I think. Yeah, or just more samples overall. Is there any more questions? Back there.
So since you come to no significant changes in like water testing, and I know that now you're going to proceed with soil testing, is there any other things you'd like to test to see if there is any changes? Or any other factors?
Well, I think water would be an excellent choice to find out, because there are there's bodies of water that get collected after spring rain and around springtime. So, and the other area is around the lake. So, I think water samples would be smart for sure. Yeah. Is that the end of the questions?